Good afternoon. I'm Lieutenant Thomas Tokars, Commander of the Frederick Police Department Support Services Division. On behalf of the Frederick Police Department, I welcome everyone to the graduation of our 57th Student Officer Training class. Will you please rise, and will uniformed personnel please cover for the entrance of the graduation class, who will be accompanied by Journeyman Piper Alexander Dowse. Sergeant Carr, prepare the class. Will you please remain standing, and will uniformed members stand at attention for the presentation of the colors by the Frederick Police Department and Washington County Sheriff's Department Color Guard members, the singing of the national anthem by Miss Angela Spencer, and the delivery of our invocation.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming on the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you, Ms. Spencer. With us this afternoon to deliver the invocation is Pastor Apgar Taylor, chaplain of the department's chaplain corps.
Let us pray. Almighty God, from whom justice and mercy flows, bless, we pray, these men and women who have come this day to begin their careers in law enforcement. Give them courage to go toward danger when others would run away. Give them strong yet compassionate hearts that seek to marry justice with mercy. Protect them as they serve our communities and our nation with honor and dignity. And finally, most gracious God, on those days when policing is difficult, in those times when people are not thankful for their service, remind them of this day, of their purpose, and of all of us who support and encourage them. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor Apgar Taylor. Will everyone please be seated? At this time, I would like to recognize some special guests with us today, some of who represent agencies with student officers graduating today. Mayor of the City of Frederick, the Honorable Randy McClement. Our Board of Aldermen, Alderman Kelly Russell, Alderman Michael O'Connor, Alderman Phil Dacey, Alderman Josh Boakey, Alderman Donna Kuzumchek, and Council President Mr. Bud Otis. From the Frederick County Sheriff's Office, Sheriff Chuck Jenkins and members of his command staff. From the Washington County Sheriff's Office, Sheriff Douglas Mullendore and members of his command staff. From the Carroll County Sheriff's Office, Sheriff James DeWeese and members of his command staff. From the Gaithersburg Police Department, Chief Mark Sroka. From the Rockville Police Department, Major Robert Rappaport, Acting Chief of Police. From the Annapolis Police Department, Chief Michael Pristop. From the Maryland Police Corrections Training Commission, Mr. William J. McMahon, Acting Executive Director. From the Frederick Police Department, Chief Ed Hargis. Captain Patrick Grossman. Captain Dwight Summers. Lieutenant Dennis Dudley. Lieutenant Clark Pennington. Lieutenant Jason Keckler. Lieutenant Joe Hare. And Lieutenant Kirk Henneberry. And the Frederick Police Department's training staff, Sergeant Sean Carr, Corporal Casey Strong, Firearms Coordinator, Officer First Class Dan Sullivan, and Training Officer, Officer First Class Greg Santangelo. As Commander of the Training Division, I personally would like to thank the training staff for their hard work and dedication in preparing the class for their next journey. I would like to thank the families of each graduating recruit for their love and support during these last 6 months. I would like to thank the number of agencies in attendance today for their support and also for giving us the opportunity to train such dedicated young men and women. This is a most honorable profession, and with that comes the awesome responsibility of protecting lives and liberties of the communities that you will serve. As you go forward from here today, do not ever forget the public's trust in you to perform honorably is the most important weapon you will carry. It is now my pleasure to introduce the Chief of the Frederick Police Department, Chief Ed Hargis.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Frederick Police Academy 57th class graduation. I want to thank our distinguished guests, agency chiefs and sheriffs, their command staff, family, friends, and colleagues for being here this afternoon as we celebrate the transition from student officer to police officer. During my career, I've attended probably 30 or more graduation ceremonies, and it's always a great experience to watch the ceremony that presents such a significant step in an officer's career. This is a day that both you, the graduate, and your family should be extremely proud of. For each one of you graduating here today really represents more than 100 who wanted to be in that same seat, but for some reason they couldn't meet the high standards that the job of a law enforcement officer requires. The 57th class represents 16 graduates who will serve in 7 different law enforcement agencies. Your graduation today signifies that you have met these high standards by passing the application and selection process, and now your successful completion of the basic law enforcement officer training curriculum. Being a law enforcement officer is more than a job. It's a profession, and some even refer to it as a true calling. What brought you here today could have been a childhood dream, a chance to follow in a relative's footstep, or some career decision that just came later in life. The important point to remember is that you and you alone decided to make the commitment to be a law enforcement officer. Your graduation here today is the reward of all of your efforts that you have endured so far. Take what you have learned here at the Academy and put it to good practical use, as I'm sure that you are ready to take on the many challenges of serving your community to the best of your ability. Law enforcement is no longer a response and enforcement process. It's a combination of response, enforcement, and partnering with our community to work as a team to solve crime problems using innovative methods. In a few minutes, our graduates will take the law enforcement oath of honor. The oath states, "On my honor, I will never betray my badge, my integrity, my character, or the public trust. I will always have the courage to hold myself and others accountable for their actions. I will always uphold the Constitution, the community, and the agency I serve." Before you take this solemn pledge, you should understand what it means. Honor means that one's word is given as a guarantee. Betray is defined as breaking faith with the public trust. Badge is a symbol of your office. Integrity is being the same person in both private and public life. Character means the qualities that distinguish an individual. Public trust is a charge of duty imposed in faith toward those you serve. Courage is having the strength to withstand unethical pressure and fear or danger. Accountability means that you are answerable and responsible to the oath of your office, and community is the jurisdiction and citizens that you serve. As an officer, you'll be entrusted with tremendous power. You will routinely and lawfully deprive your fellow citizens of their liberty. Most importantly, you may find yourself in a situation where you could be forced to take a human life. This power separates you from the rest of our society. No other government official possesses this extent and depth of authority as a law enforcement officer. You must now stand up for what is right and protect the community that you are sworn to serve. Take the meaning of the law enforcement oath of honor seriously and remind yourself of this pledge every time you put your uniform on. Having been in this profession for quite some time, I want to offer some advice to the graduates on how to survive a career in law enforcement. Number 1, honesty, integrity, respect, duty, and professionalism are the words to live by in our occupation. We must serve our communities faithfully by safeguarding lives and property. As a sworn officer, you must understand that you will be held to a higher level of accountability than any other citizen and that you must meet this challenge day in and day out, both on duty and off duty. You must never permit your personal feelings, prejudices, or political beliefs to influence your decisions, and you must make the right decisions for the right reasons. Number 2, be technically proficient. You have received training in criminal law, traffic law, constitutional law, and many other areas during the academy training. This profession is ever-changing, and you must stay on top of these changes so that you can enforce the law both fairly and impartially. Commitment to the profession is being the best that you can be, and this requires continuous learning. Number 3, be tactically competent. The National Law Enforcement Memorial in Washington, D.C. holds the names of over 20,000 officers who have paid the ultimate sacrifice. We have learned from these sacrifices, and we have improved our tactics, training, equipment, and technology. Keep your officer survival skills current. You have been taught how to safely approach a building, stop a vehicle, and control a domestic dispute, as well as many other scenarios. Use the skills that you have learned and never let your guard down. Maintain physical fitness. Stay in shape. It will not only reduce stress, but it will ensure that you can survive the fight for your life when challenged. Maintain healthy and eating and sleeping habits. Being in good physical condition will give you more confidence that will lead to better decision making. Number 5, balance your private life with your career. Ground yourselves in family, faith, friends, and hobbies. Look for those officers in your agencies whose character, work ethic, and balance of private life stand out to you and whom you can emulate. Use these individuals as your mentors and don't be afraid to ask them questions. Having open lines of communication with your family and friends plays a major role in you being a successful officer. And 6, remember, in the end, it's our job to serve the stakeholders in our communities, and you should take that responsibility seriously. Take time to have positive interactions with those you serve. Get a better understanding of what they feel are important issues in their neighborhoods, and then work together to solve those problems. This type of interaction will build trusting relationships and allow you to be more effective as an officer. So in closing, your training does not end today. This is only the beginning. Support each other, both on and off duty. Back up your fellow law enforcement officers. Treat each other with respect and as teammates, just as you have learned here at the Police Academy. To the members of Class 57, I want to congratulate you on the accomplishments of your graduation from the Frederick Police Academy and wish you much success in your new career. Realizing majority of these graduates probably were born after this TV show went off the air. Just as every roll call ended in the television series Hill Street Blues, Sergeant Esterhouse would always tell his officers, "Let's be careful out there." Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Hargis. It is now my pleasure to introduce the Mayor of the City of Frederick, the Honorable Mayor Randy McClement.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, members of the graduating class, and your friends and your family, welcome to the 57th Frederick Police Department's Academy graduation. Our Academy is Western Maryland's longest continuously certified police academy. Today, 16 highly trained student officers will graduate and go on to serve the Frederick County Sheriff's Department, the Carroll County Sheriff's Department, the Washington County Sheriff's Department, the Gaithersburg City Police, the Annapolis City Police, the Rockville City Police, and the Frederick City Police Department. It's an honor and privilege to be here today and to be a part of this proud tradition. As mentioned earlier, I would like to recognize our Board of Aldermen. 2 are here today that I know, Alderman Kelly Russell and Alderman Michael O'Connor, as well as Alderwoman Donna Kazemchek, Alderman Bo Key, and Alderman Phil Dacey. On behalf of the Board of Aldermen, the residents, the business owners, the visitors, and everyone protected in the communities you'll serve, I would like to congratulate you. These men and women have completed a rigorous training program and are now proudly before you in uniform. Don't they look marvelous up here? Absolutely. In a time when mass shootings and riots are in the news on almost a daily basis, the men and women before you have stepped up and chosen to serve as law enforcement officers. This choice is more than selecting a job or even a career. These men and women are the uniformed face of our city and the departments that they will serve. For these men and women, acting above and beyond the call of duty is their duty. All of you on stage today are following in the footsteps of 56 classes that preceded you. Your commitment to this position will require long hours, big tasks, lengthy investigations, difficult situations, and sometimes life-threatening ordeals. The challenges you face and the people you will help will mold you into the officer you are meant to be and solidify your reason for serving. Now let me take this opportunity to thank the families and friends who have supported these graduates through not only the academy, but through the work they are about to do in their chosen profession. Graduates, please join me in giving your friends and family a round of applause. I would also like to thank the incomparable training staff of the Frederick Police Academy. The Academy curriculum is intensive, 7-month program, approximately 125 hours of academic and practical skills, training, and evaluation. Since 1964, the Frederick Police Academy has trained and certified officers for many different jurisdictions. A special thanks goes to the following people who have harassed you over those last 125 hours. Corporal Casey Strong, Assistant Supervisor. Officer Daniel Sullivan, Firearms Coordinator. Officer Gregory Santangelo, Training Officer. And of course, Sergeant Sean Carr, Supervisor of the Training Unit. Let's give them all a big round of applause. I'd also like to thank Chief Ed Hargis, who has been with us now for just about a year. We're thrilled with all that he has brought to this department and to the community since his arrival. Thank you, Chief, and we are glad to have you here. Congratulations to the graduates of the 57th Police Academy. You are ready to protect and ready to serve. Our communities will be safer places to live, work, and play because of the commitment you make here today. I wish you all the best, and most importantly, be safe and have fun. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Our keynote speaker today is Captain Douglas J. Burig, Director of the Intelligence Division, Pennsylvania State Bureau of Criminal Investigation. Captain Douglas J. Burig is a 21-year veteran of the Pennsylvania State Police. Currently, he serves as the Director of the Intelligence Division in the Department's Bureau of Criminal Investigation, where he oversees PSP's counterterrorism initiatives, the state's primary designated intelligence fusion center, and field intelligence operations throughout the Commonwealth. Prior to his current position, Captain Burig served in numerous disciplines within the PSP, including patrol, criminal investigations, criminal investigation assessment, and analytical intelligence. In October of 2006, Captain Burig was one of the first responders to the West Nichols Mines Amish school shooting and was on the scene and was the incident commander when 10 young girls were shot. In September of 2014, after Pennsylvania State Police Corporal Brian Dixon and Trooper Alex Douglas were shot at the PSP Blooming Grove Barracks, Captain Burig responded to assist with the investigation. He was subsequently assigned to the role of Deputy Incident Commander to manage 1,000 law enforcement personnel for the remaining 43 days of the investigation manhunt. Captain Burig earned a bachelor's degree in political science from Salisbury University and a Master of Science degree in the Administration of Justice and Homeland Security from Wilmington University. He is also a graduate of the 255th session of the FBI Academy in Quantico, Virginia. Captain Burig is a member of the International Associations of Chiefs of Police, the Association of State Criminal Investigative Agencies, and the Pennsylvania Homicide Investigators Association. I met Captain Burig a few months ago at a local college, and he was speaking about the West Nickel Mines Amish shooting. I was deeply moved and wanted Captain Burig to talk at this graduation, not about that horrific event, but about character, integrity, and how to survive in today's world in what we call law enforcement. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Captain Douglas Burig.
Hi, good afternoon. I'd like to thank Chief Hargis and the Mayor for inviting me to speak on this very momentous occasion. I really consider it a great honor, and I've never been asked to do something like this before. But I was raised in Maryland, and I went to college here, so I really feel like this is it's a hometown gig, especially in light of the hospitality and the friendship that you've extended to me today. In fact, I was inspired to pursue a career in law enforcement because of the interaction I had with Maryland troopers and local police officers in Cecil County, where I grew up. I'm sure that each one of you can clearly remember who inspired you to join our law enforcement career. There are certain events and moments that you and your family will always remember in your life, and today is one of them. For many of you, this is the day you'll formally commit to this profession that will consume the majority of your adult working years. Your graduation is a culmination of a lot of hard work, dedication, and time away from home to attain this goal. I commend each and every one of you for this significant accomplishment, and I know your families are very proud of you. Welcome to our ranks. You're certainly entering our profession at a very challenging time. Some communities or country have developed a strained relationship with their police forces and a distrust of government in general. There's been a marked increase in violence towards law enforcement officers at levels we have not seen in decades. Some of the nation's largest cities and suburban areas are experiencing a sharp increase in the number of homicides and violent crimes after years of steady decline. There's been an increased tempo of terrorist attacks as evidenced by the horrific events that took place in Orlando less than 2 weeks ago, as well as Boston and San Bernardino before that. There's currently an epidemic of heroin and other opioid overdoses that are indiscriminately taking the lives of people across all demographics of our nation in staggering numbers. Additionally, at some point in your career, it's likely that nearly all of your interactions will be recorded on either a body-worn camera, an in-car camera, a street camera, or the public's ever-present cell phones. In light of these challenges, I'm sure someone in your life has asked you, why are you doing this? Isn't there an easier way to make a living? And I'm sure the answer you give regarding why you chose the law enforcement profession is different for each of you. When I'm asked that question, I tell them that, in my opinion, it's a noble cause and a worthwhile endeavor. Perhaps to some this might seem a bit idealistic or old-fashioned, but I believe it. As stated by the renowned law enforcement and military trainer, Lieutenant Colonel Dave Grossman, you are the modern-day paladin, a peacekeeper by trade, a warrior when necessary, a knight in shining armor that rides in on a steed to do good throughout the land. Except now in the modern era, the horse has been replaced by a police interceptor that has not 1 horsepower, but several hundred. The shining armor that once adorned the outside of these brave souls has been replaced by soft body armor tucked away beneath your clothing to protect you. The shield that was once carried on the left arm with the symbol by whose authority they operated under is now pinned to your chest, close to your heart. What has not changed is the importance of the work that you do to protect our society and our way of life through selfless public service. Without question, there will be occasions when you're called upon to endure something very difficult in the performance of your duty. The measure of how an incident affects someone will be different for each one of you because you're all unique individuals with varied experiences and established coping mechanisms. My most significant challenge occurred on October 2nd, 2006, when I had roughly 11 years on the job. I was a detective sergeant. I responded to the West Nickel Mines Amish School in Bart Township, Lancaster County. It was around 11 o'clock in the morning. A 32-year-old milk truck operator had taken 10 young Amish girls hostage in their one-room schoolhouse. All the girls were between 6 and 12 years old. He was armed with 3 powerful weapons and 600 rounds of ammunition. We had very limited information about what was going on in the school. When I arrived, we attempted to contact the hostage taker to see what his demands were, while hundreds of police officers and SWAT teams were headed towards the area. We didn't know he had already heavily barricaded all of the doors with lumbers and 2x4s to prevent us from getting inside. All the shades were pulled so we couldn't see inside. There were 9 other troopers there with me. Approximately 8 minutes after I got there, and without any warning, a rapid series of gunshots came from inside the school as the gunman opened fire. Troopers charged towards the school from all directions and tried to fight their way through the fortified doors and windows to get inside, but it took several minutes to defeat the barricades. They used ballistic shields, rifle butts, and their bare hands. The gunman fired through the front door at our people, but those 9 troopers just kept going straight towards the gunfire. It was one of the bravest things I had ever personally witnessed. When we got inside, we saw that all 10 girls had been shot and the gunman had taken his own life. We carried the girls outside into the bright daylight and gave them all the medical care we could as we waited for the 5 medevac helicopters to land. In spite of our efforts, 5 of the girls passed away and 5 others were critically injured. I've been through a lot of the same training you've had to prepare for active shooter incidents, and I followed the news events about other mass shootings that occurred across the country, but I couldn't believe it happened to us in the most seemingly improbable place, a one-room schoolhouse in a field in bucolic Lancaster County. After the surviving girls were transported from the scene, I remember standing inside a mobile command post in shock, feeling incredibly guilty that I was in charge of a response where so many people had died and I couldn't stop it. The flashbacks and images replayed over and over again. And frankly, it was the darkest day of my life and my career. I'd seen other police officers become psychological casualties as a result of traumatic incidents. And I knew it was kind of at a precipice and it could go either way for me and the other guys that were with me. But at that moment, I made a conscious pledge to myself that I was not going to let this destroy me. And I would not become another victim because that's what the gunman would have wanted. I decided that other people were going to need my help in my career, and I needed to be normal so I could continue to serve. I was also very cognizant of the fact that my wife and young sons needed me. Through the psychological assistance we received through our department's Members Assistance Program, our department chaplains, and long talks with fellow troopers, and most importantly, our friendships with the Amish families, we started through the healing process. We became close with the Amish families who lost their daughters and with the surviving girls. We talked frequently, we visited them in their homes, were invited to church services and other events. We were so inspired by the strengths of the girls and their families. Some of the survivors had endured more than 15 surgeries each. And although I'll never forget the bravery exhibited by the troopers who were with me that day, it was clear that the people who demonstrated the most courage during the entire process were the victims. They found it in their hearts to forgive the man who committed these heinous acts. They welcomed us into their lives and their culture, in spite of the fact that an Amish society is often closed to outsiders like us. We were even invited to the weddings of the 2 surviving girls who got married. But this incident re-emphasized to me the core of what we do is to provide service to people we're sworn to protect. It's about putting others first and being selfless public servants. It doesn't matter if the people in our community look different or dress differently or speak a different language or even worship another god. And now, nearly 10 years after this incident occurred, I realized the most profound lesson in my life and career. It was taught to me by 10 girls in a one-room schoolhouse. It took time to see through the tears and the darkness and emerge on the other side to achieve clarity and just truly understand and appreciate the opportunity we have in this profession to help others. You will be tested and undoubtedly face significant challenges during your career. Through this exceptional police academy and the wisdom of your instructors, you've been given the training necessary to successfully execute your duties. You've demonstrated that you possess the requisite qualities to be entrusted by communities with the significant authority and tremendous responsibility to protect them. When you encounter challenges in your days, and they're hard, or you experience horrible things, reflect back on today and remember what inspired you to take this oath and don the uniform. Use the adversity, use it to steel your resolve and heal both physically and psychologically so you can be there for your family and your community. Faithfully serve all members of the community, regardless of their class, color, creed, or condition. You represent the next generation of public servants, paladins, and from my interaction with you earlier today, I'm confident the legacy of exceptional law enforcement service is secure and in good hands. May God watch over you and your fellow officers as you embark on this noble cause and worthwhile endeavor. On behalf of myself and the 6,000 men and women of the Pennsylvania State Police, congratulations on this outstanding achievement, and thank you for allowing me to share this day with you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Captain Burig. As a token of our appreciation for meeting with our graduating class and sharing with them your inspiring words and for attending and speaking at our graduation, the Chief would like to present you with this plaque and also a glass etching of our 2016 memorial service done by a local artist. Each student officer training class selects one of their own to speak for the class. The 57th class has awarded this honor to Officer Grant Smith from the Frederick Police Department.
On behalf of the Frederick Police Academy's 57th class, I would like to welcome Mayor McClement, City of Frederick Board of Aldermen, Chief Ed Hargis, Frederick Police Command staff, Annapolis Police Department, Frederick County Sheriff's Office, Washington County Sheriff's Office, Carroll County Sheriff's Office, Rockville Police Department, Gaithersburg Police Department, families and distinguished guests to the Frederick Police Academy 57th class commencement. It was a true privilege to be a part of this class. I'm sure that every law enforcement officer in this auditorium remembers the day that they graduated their respected academies and put on the uniform for the first time. To the graduating members of Class 57, today is your day to shine. Do not forget what you have accomplished over the past months. Do not forget why you chose this profession. Every day that you put on the uniform and go to work, remember why you dedicated the time and effort for this career. When problems arise and trouble you, remember the big picture. Remember your values, your ethics, and drive on. Today's society is different than what it was 50, 25, 10, and even 5 years ago. This is a challenging time to enter the law enforcement career. Families and friends, your loved one who is about to walk across the stage, swear in, and head directly into the fight will need your help now more than ever. No one calls the police when they want to celebrate a birthday or holiday. They call the police when they're in need of help, when they cannot make a decision on their own, and when the devil is knocking on their door. They will need your support from now until the last time they take off the uniform. On November 9th, 2015, 25 different people from different backgrounds and different walks of life stepped foot into the Frederick Police Department Training Division to start the Police Academy. It is now June 24th, 7 months later. These individuals that you see here are the ones who made it, the ones who found it in themselves and in each other to push forward through our collective and individual struggles to unify and determine what's important now. To not take the easy way out, no matter how appealing it may have been at times, but to fight and drive on. We found our strengths and we found our weaknesses, and we were tested. The tests that we have faced these last 7 months have prepared us for what is about to come. Class 57 was blessed with a diverse training staff that instructed us on how to be a good police officer. We learned many things, like law, defensive tactics, firearms, and driving. We also learned some things we'd soon like to forget, such as Officer Sullivan's slosh poles and team building exercise, which involved a couple hundred pounds of handgun ammunition in a wagon that we carried back and forth across the range, and how Officer Santangelo took us back in time to our childhood days of watching TV. Through it all, we learned valuable lessons that will stay with us throughout our careers. A police officer is a leader. As law enforcement officers, you will watch the back of the man next to you, and he will watch yours. An officer must be self-confident, have a positive attitude, must exhibit his or her determination, and must display their will to win by actions, words, tone of voice on the radio and face-to-face, his or her demeanor, countenance, and appearance. Through the look in his eye, he or she must ignore the confusion and noise in volatile situations. He or she must remain calm and cool, and must not give off any hint or evidence of anything but a positive outcome, even in the most desperate of situations. He or she must always remember there is something that you can do to influence any situation in your favor and build upon it. He or she must not concede any ground and fight for every step of it. Ask yourself, what should I be doing to influence this situation in my favor? And remember, always look for work. He or she must trust himself and instinct. Instinct and intuition amount to an instant estimate of your situation. Your instincts are a direct reflection of your training, education, knowledge, personality, experience, and reading. When seconds count, the officer must act fast to impart confidence to all around, must not second guess his or her decision, face the facts, deal with them, and carry on. Recent events have showed that we are not only fighting criminals, but a new type of evil that is looking to break down and desecrate everything those who have gone before us have set out to accomplish. Not just police, but what our nation was founded upon, what our brothers, sisters, fathers, and forefathers fought wars and died for so far away from their homes. What leaders like Abraham Lincoln, Martin Luther King, the founding fathers, and Americans all across this nation have sacrificed for. It won't be long until this threat is a reality in this area. It is already here. They are planning, testing, and waiting until their twisted minds decide it is the right moment to strike. You are the target. The uniform you wear on your back and the flag that you proudly display on your shoulder makes you a prime emblem of the strength of our nation. When the time comes, do not falter, do not freeze. Find the warrior spirit inside yourself and unleash it righteously upon those who aim to kill and strike fear into the hearts of those we have vowed to serve and protect. There's a story I heard not too long ago. An old man was walking on the beach one morning. As he walked down the shore, he noticed there were a couple hundred starfish that had been washed ashore by the tide. He also saw a young boy running frantically up and down the beach. The boy was picking up starfish and throwing them back into the tide as fast as he could. The old man walked up to the boy and said, "You're crazy. You're wasting your time. You can't save them all." At that moment, the boy picked up a starfish and threw it back into the ocean. He said, "You may be right, but I saved that one." You will not be able to change the world, but if you can influence just one person to do the right thing, you found a good place to start. In closing, my advice is to always choose the hard right over the easy wrong. Live by the win principle and be the model that you want to see in society. God bless all of you who are about to take the oath to assist, protect, and defend your peers, neighbors, communities, and your nation. Remember, as officers, be real and true, rather than appear to be. And when in doubt, give it the onion. On behalf of Class 57, I would now like to present Sergeant Carr with a plaque of recommendation for the time and dedication that went into training our class.
I have no idea what the onion is. I'm not going to ask. Prior to presenting the Academic and Skills Award, the Police Department would like to recognize 5 officers and their work related to a makeover of the entire Academy. Would Officers Lee, Sharp, Smith, Lucas, and Weddle please stand? These 5 officers from the Frederick Police Department were hired 2 weeks prior to the start of the Academy. They painted, they stained, they power washed, they cleaned, moved bleachers, raked the berm, sealed asphalt, cut and stacked wood. They did it all. Each will receive a letter of acknowledgement signed by the chief, which will be placed in their personnel file recognizing their effort. Thank you for your hard work and professionalism. Take seats. It has become a tradition to honor those student officers whose performance was top of the class. The Chief's Award of Excellence recognizes those student officers who score the highest in academic and in skills performance. Would Chief Hargis and Sheriff James T. DeWeese and Acting Executive Director Mr. William J. McMahon please assist me in the presentation of these awards? Would Deputy Ulrich please approach the podium? Attaining the highest overall academic class average and thus receiving the award for outstanding academic achievement during the 57th Student Officer Training Class is Deputy Sean Ehrlich from the Carroll County Sheriff's Office. Receiving the award for outstanding skills achievement, which consists of the highest overall score on multiple firearms courses, physical training, defensive tactics, and emergency vehicle operations, is Deputy Sean Ulrich. Congratulations, Deputy Ulrich. Thank you, gentlemen. You may be seated. Will Officer Seek please approach the podium? One of the first lessons presented to the student officers is that of teamwork, the ability to work together to accomplish the mission. To represent that commitment, each class is tasked with designing and creating a class flag that accompanies them during their endeavors. The 57th Academy's flag, which represents the end of their student officer phase and the beginning of their police career. The furling of the flag will be conducted by Officer Louis Seek of the Gaithersburg Police Department. At the completion of the furling of the flag, Officer Seek will present the flag to Sergeant Carr. It will be retired and displayed at the training facility with the flags from previous academies. Prior to the start of today's ceremony, each graduate was administered the oath of office for the respective jurisdictions. For purposes of this ceremony, the graduates will publicly take the oath of honor as a symbolic statement of their commitment to ethical conduct. Raise your right hand. On my honor.
On my honor.
I will never betray my badge.
I will never betray my badge.
My integrity.
My integrity.
My character.
My character.
Or the public trust.
Or the public trust.
I will always have.
I will always have.
The courage to hold myself.
The courage to hold myself.
And others accountable for our actions.
And others accountable for our actions.
I will always uphold the Constitution.
I will always uphold the Constitution.
My community.
My community.
And the agency I serve.
And the agency I serve.
I now invite our dignitaries and family members to assist while each officer accepts their badge of authority and receives their graduation certificates. Will the following dignitaries please stand to the left of the podium? Chief Hargis, Mayor McClement, Acting Executive Director for MPCTC, Mr. McMahon, Captain Burig, Sheriff Jenkins, Sheriff Mullendor, Sheriff Deweese, Major Rappaport, Chief Sroka, and Chief Pristup. Representing the Maryland Police and Corrections Training Commission and presenting those certificates is the Acting Executive Director of the Maryland Police and Corrections Training Commission, Mr. William J. McMahon. When I call a student officer's name, if the family member pinning on their badge could contact the honor guard member to my right to be escorted on the stage. Deputy Kevin McGinnis, Carroll County Sheriff's Office. Deputy McGinnis is 26 years of age and was born and raised in Westminster, Maryland. Kevin has a sister, Kelly Renfro, and parents David and Louise McGinnis. He attended Winners Mill High School and graduated in 2008. Deputy McGinnis attended Carroll Community College in 2012 and graduated with an Associate's of Arts degree in Criminal Justice. He attended Stevenson University and graduated in 2015 with a Bachelor's degree of Science in Criminal Justice. An interesting fact about Kevin is that he's a tournament bass angler in the Maryland Bass Federation. Kevin is also an Eagle Scout from Troop 393 in Westminster, Maryland. Before the FPD Academy, Kevin worked at Lowe's Home Improvement part-time while attending college. Kevin's parents, David McGinnis and Lois McGinnis, will be pinning on his badge. Officer Marjorie Lee, Frederick Police Department. Officer Marjorie Week Lee was born in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, to Susan Lynn Week and the late Chester Henry Week, Jr. She was raised in Millsboro, Delaware, with one younger brother, Stephen Andrew Week. Officer Lee is 30 years old. She graduated from James H. Groves High School in 2004 and attended the University of Delaware, where she studied entomology, insects. Prior to joining the Frederick Police Department, she worked for Budget and Navis Car and Truck Rental as a supervisor and rental agent. She grew up with the love of the outdoors, raising pygmy goats, and spent over 8 years singing in various choral groups. Her badge will be pinned on by her brother, Stephen Andrew Week. Deputy Robert Fritz, Frederick County Sheriff's Office. Robert Fritz is a deputy with the Frederick County Sheriff's Office. He is 29 years old and was born in Leesburg, Virginia. He was raised in Clear Spring, Maryland by his parents, Robert and Kimberly Fritz. He has an older sister, Heather. Robert graduated from Clear Spring High School in 2005. In 2009, he graduated from Frostburg State University with a bachelor's degree in business administration. Robert enjoys anything outdoors, including camping, mountain biking, kayaking, and is an avid golfer. Prior to the Frederick Police Academy, Robert worked at the Frederick County Detention Center as a correctional officer and a classification specialist since 2011. Robert would like to thank his family and friends for their support through the Academy. Pinning his badge is his wife, Tiffany Fritz. Officer Jackie Weddle, Frederick Police Department. Officer Jackie Weddle is assigned to the Frederick Police Department. She is 36 years old, born in Leesburg, Virginia, and was raised in Brunswick, Maryland, where she currently resides. Officer Weddle is the daughter of Linda Weddle and the late James Weddle. She's a sister to Rob Weddle. Officer Weddle graduated from Brunswick High School in June of 1998. In February of 2000, she enlisted in the West Virginia Air National Guard. She currently is a Master Sergeant and holds a position as the Fitness Superintendent at the 167th Airlift Wing in Martinsburg, West Virginia. She obtained her Bachelor's of Science degree in Hospitality Management from American Military University in November of 2013. Before coming to the Frederick Police Department, Officer Weddle was a stay-at-home mom for the last 6 years. She is currently the Veterans Outreach Director for Team Red, White, and Blue, the Frederick chapter. Officer Weddle is an avid long-distance runner, completing 4 full marathons and 10 half marathons. Officer Weddle's children, Noah Hinkle and Hayden Rogers, will be pinning on her badge. Deputy Canton Wisner, Frederick County Sheriff's Office. Deputy Wisner is 22 years old. Born in Cumberland, Maryland, he was raised in New Creek, West Virginia by his father, Jerry Wisner. Deputy Wisner graduated from Kaiser High School in 2012. After high school, he joined the United States Marine Corps Reserve, where he currently retains the rank of corporal. In the Marine Corps, Deputy Wisner is an infantry anti-tank missile man and combat marksmanship coach with Bravo Company 4, Light Armored Reconnaissance Battalion. Deputy Wisner is an avid hunter and outdoorsman. He previously drove a lumber delivery truck for Wisner Transportation. Pinning on his badge is his father, Jerry Wisner. Officer William Noel, Jr., Annapolis Police Department. Officer William Noel, Jr. of the Annapolis Police Department is the son of Patricia and William Noel, Sr. He's a 38-year-old native of Washington, D.C. Raised in Temple Hills, Maryland, William graduated from Sweetland High School's Visual and Performing Arts program in 1995. From there, he went on to earn a BS in kinesiology from the University of Maryland at College Park in 2002. Prior to joining the Annapolis Police Department, William was the head trainer at Mint Health Club in Washington, D.C. Officer Noel is a drummer as well as an avid NASCAR fan. Pinning Officer Noel's badge is his wife of 13 years, Diana Noel. Officer Doug Seek, Gaithersburg Police Department. Officer Doug Seek is 27 years old and was born in Olney, Maryland. He grew up in the Bell House, now the Town Hall in Laytonsville, Maryland. Later on, he went to live with his grandparents in Durwood, Maryland. He has 6 brothers, Corey, Taylor, Luke, Randy, Sam, and Adam Seek. He also has 1 sister, Jessica. His parents, Doug Seek Sr. and Sharon Seek, and his grandparents, Robert and Betty Heflin, have guided him and are a large part of why he is here today. He graduated from Magruder High School in 2006. He worked for several years as an electrician for Dyna Electric, doing mostly commercial work. He then joined the Army and became a tank gunner and achieved the rank of specialist before being honorably discharged. He went on to earn his associate's degree in criminal justice from Montgomery College in 2015 and was hired on to become a police officer for the city of Gaithersburg. He enjoys riding his Harley-Davidson motorcycle and spending time with his family. He is having his badge pinned on by his wife of 5 years, Casey Seek, and his loving grandmother, Betty Heflin. Deputy Nicholas Fazenbaker, Washington County Sheriff's Office. He is 22 years old and was born and currently lives in Hagerstown, Maryland. He is the son of Tim Fazenbaker and Becky Everly, with one older brother, Josh. Nicholas Fazenbaker graduated from North Hagerstown High School in 2011 and went on to graduate from Hagerstown Community College with his associate's degree in the Administration of Justice. While attending college, he worked as a security guard officer at Meritus Medical Center until getting this opportunity to fill his career choice of becoming a police officer. He likes to hunt, fish, and kayak. Today, his wife, Andrea Fazenbaker, will be pinning on his badge. Deputy Mark Grove, Washington County Sheriff's Office. Deputy Grove is 22 years of age. He was born in Waynesboro, Pennsylvania, and raised in Hagerstown, Maryland. He's the son of Dan and Tracy Grove. He also has a younger brother, Luke. He graduated from Smithsburg High School in 2011. He continued his education at Alvernia University, where he received a bachelor's degree in criminal justice, graduating in the spring of 2015. Before joining the Frederick Police Department Academy, he worked for Jernigan's Land Clearing. Mark enjoys fishing and shooting archery in his spare time. His mother and father, Tracy and Dan Grove, will be pinning his badge on him. Officer Grant Smith, Frederick Police Department. Grant Smith, 24 years old and born and raised in Williamsport, Maryland. He has one younger brother, Cole Smith. His parents are Walt and Kim Smith. He graduated from Williamsport High School in 2009. He attended Frostburg State University, graduated in December of 2013 with a bachelor's degree in geography and a minor in forestry. He enlisted in the Army in 2014 and currently has been serving 2.5 years and obtained the rank of specialist. Prior to working for FPD, he worked for the National Park Service and for a masonry company. His hobbies include hunting and fishing. Officer Smith will be deployed to Cuba for 9 months following his graduation. His father, Walt Smith, will be pinning on his badge. Officer James McNeil, Rockville City Police Department. James McNeil of Rockville City Police Department is 28 years old. He was born on Scott Air Force Base, Illinois, but raised in Fayetteville, North Carolina. James is the only son of Theola Woods McNeil and James McNeil Sr. He graduated from Citadel Military College of South Carolina with a Bachelor of Arts in Criminal Justice. James has served 8 years in the Army National Guard as a military police officer. Before the Frederick Police Academy, James McNeil served as a police officer in North Charleston, South Carolina. He enjoys martial arts and coaching. Pinning on his badge is his mother, Theola Woods McNeil. Officer Kyle Kewen, Gaithersburg City Police Department. He's 22 years old and was born in Bethesda, Maryland. He was raised in Gaithersburg, Maryland, where he has lived his whole life. His parents are Mark and Michelle Kewen. Officer Kewen attended Watkins Mill High School in Gaithersburg, Maryland, where he graduated in 2011. He attended the University of Maryland and graduated in 2015 with a bachelor's degree in criminal justice. Officer Kewen is an avid ice hockey and lacrosse player. He also enjoys working out on a daily basis, as well as hanging out with his friends as much as possible. Before joining the police academy, Officer Kewen was an intern with the Gaithersburg City Police Department's Street Crimes Unit. He also worked part-time at the Davy Tree Expert Company. Today, his parents, Mark and Michelle Kewen, will be pinning on his badge. Deputy Dakota Watkins, Washington County Sheriff's Office. Deputy Watkins is 26 years old and was born in Sacramento, California. He was raised in Placerville, California with his sister Sarah. He is the son of Cliff Watkins and Rhonda Bowers. Dakota graduated from Union Mine High School in 2007. After high school, he spent time working in construction as well as completing his paramedic school. In March of 2013, Dakota left for Army basic training at Fort Benning, Georgia. Upon completion, he joined the 3rd United States Infantry Regiment in Arlington, Virginia. He was honorably discharged as a specialist after serving 3 years in the infantry. Now, this next line I did not make up. Dakota is spending his last 24 hours as a single man as he is getting married tomorrow. When I asked him about his hobbies, he said, "I have no hobbies." In addition to a wife, he will also be gaining a fantastic stepdaughter, Caitlin. His bride-to-be, Kristen Faith, is pinning on his badge today. The sheriff of Washington County just advised him that he has to work tomorrow. Officer Brian Lucas, Frederick Police Department. Brian Lucas is a 30-year-old graduate of the Frederick Police Academy who will be working for the Frederick Police Department. He was born in Memphis, Tennessee, but was raised in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Brian Lucas is the son of Joseph John Lucas II and Maureen Lucas, and he has one younger sister named Ashley Lucas. Brian graduated from North Catholic High School in Pittsburgh in 2004. He attended Indiana University of Pennsylvania and graduated in December of 2010 with a bachelor's degree in criminology and a minor in pre-law. Before coming to the Frederick Police Department, Brian Lucas worked as a security guard for the Carnegie Mellon University Police Department and was a seasonal police officer for the Ocean City, Maryland Police Department. He enjoys skiing and ice hockey. Pinning on his badge will be his mother, Maureen Lucas, and his girlfriend, Catherine Deason. Officer Christopher Sharp, Frederick Police Department. Christopher John Sharp is a 30-year-old graduate of the 57th Frederick City Police Academy. He was born in Nuremberg, Germany, but was raised in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. His parents' names are Donald and Rochelle Sharp, and he has two sisters, Jessica and Alicia Sharp. He attended Carlisle High School, which he graduated in 2005. Prior to graduation from high school, Sharp enlisted in the Army in 2004 as an MP. Sharp served in the Army for 10 years and is a veteran of Operation Iraqi Freedom 2006 to 2007. Between being in the Army, Sharp attended Shippensburg University and earned his bachelor's degree in criminal justice in 2011. Prior to joining Frederick Police Department, Officer Sharp was employed by the Cumberland County Sheriff's Office as a deputy. Officer Sharp enjoys camping and the outdoors. Today, he will have his father, Donald Lee Sharp, pinning his badge. Deputy Sean Ulrich, Carroll County Sheriff's Office. Deputy Sean Michael Ulrich of the Carroll County Sheriff's Office is 23 years of age. He was born in Baltimore, Maryland. He was raised in Westminster, Maryland by Bill and Susan Ulrich. He has an older brother, Justin, and a younger sister, Nicole. Sean graduated from Winners Mill High School in 2010 and then moved to Richmond, Virginia to attend Virginia Commonwealth University. There he studied cinema and graduated with a dual bachelor's degree in cinema and English at the end of the summer in 2013. He worked in the filmmaking industry, mostly on commercials and student films, before transitioning into law enforcement. In his free time, Sean enjoys hunting and mountain biking. After leaving his filmmaking job at Dreams Factory, Sean moved back to Westminster, worked in the produce department at Safeway while going through the applicant testing process for the Carroll County Sheriff's Office. Pinning his badge is William Francis Ulrich, his father. The training staff would like to present a video tribute to the student officers of the 57th Academy. At this time, would our distinguished guests please take a seat in the first two rows.
need his name up in lights. He just wants to be heard, whether it's the beat of the mic. He feels so unlike everybody else, alone, in spite of the fact that some people still think that they know. But no, he knows the code. It's not about the salary, it's all about reality and making some noise, making a story, making sure his click stays up. That means when he puts it down, Tox picking it up. Let's go. How or why he works so hard. It seems like he's never got time, because he writes every note and he writes every line. And I've seen him at work when that light goes on in his mind. It's like a design is written in his head every time, before he even touches a key or speaks in a rhyme. And those other fellas he runs with, the kids that he signed, ridiculous, without even trying. How do they do it? This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, and 100% reason to remember the name. This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, and 100% reason to remember the name.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to present the graduates of the Frederick Police Department's 57th Student Officer Training Class. The Frederick Police Department would like to thank the Weinberg Center for the use of their facility today. We invite you to join our graduates for a reception in the lobby immediately following the ceremony. We ask that you please allow the graduates to leave the theater first. Thank you for attending today. Now, if you will please rise as our benediction is delivered by Pastor Apgar Taylor.
And now may the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Amen.